good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name's Katie O. This is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another astrology people for today, the 12th of October 2021. We are in a waxing crescent moon that will transit at 0015 o'clock today into the sun Capricorn. So straight away at midnight 15. Yeah, brand new. Sign of Capricorn. Cool. So we've got the sun in an air sign, Libra, and we've got the moon in an earth sign. Sorry, I'm indecisive. I'm gonna sit like this. I'm gonna move this book here. I'm gonna do this. Okay. Sun in an air sign, moon in an earth sign. We have Libra and Capricorn. Capricorn is a really, it is the cardinal earth sign, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's the cardinal earth sign. Which means it has a very, I don't want to say basic, but just like a it's the first level of the earth signs. Yeah, it's the entry, it's the starter. All right, but Capricorn is a great sign. It's represented by I believe a ram, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's like a goat. It's the devil card is the one that is representing Capricorn, which can be a little daunting to some. But Capricorn is a sign that it may be hard-headed, yes, but it gets stuff done. It's very responsible. It's hardworking. It's dedicated. It's resilient, very resilient, right? This is like a you know, like the idea of like a rolling stone down a hill, how it's still, yeah, okay, it might lose a chip here and there, but it's going to remain relatively intact when it gets to the bottom of a hill, versus like, I don't know, a human falling down a mountain, probably going to end up being a lot more battered and bruised and dysfunctional by the end of it, much more transformed by the trauma of rolling down the hill versus a stone that will tend to tough these impacts. The imagery that I got when I saw this earth-air combo was a barn raising, actually, like old school, like I'm seeing like Amish or Mennonite, or you know, like one of these cultures that values the simplicity of the way life once was before we were cluttered up by technology and things like that. Maybe that's significant for some of you guys. Maybe some of you guys are trying to get back to basics, trying to simplify your life and try and get away from the machines and the whizzing and the whirring of cars and stuff. And maybe some of you guys are just trying to get out into nature a little bit more. But either way, I got this barn raising vibe. The moon in Capricorn is ready to put metal to the grindstone, to put effort wherever is needed, to delegate tasks in order for one greater goal to be achieved with many working parts. Yeah. Like if you think about what it looks like to raise a barn, there's like many people, and I mean, I'm talking old school, not like cranes and shit, like people, ropes, animals, you know, like the group of people is combining their forces with the tools that they have and the animals that they've raised and whatever, you know, integrated into the functionality of their society. It takes a lot of coordination. It takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot of pooling of resources. Yeah, but it's all for a greater good. I get the idea that if we get the structure off the ground, we can move on to the next step. If once the supporting beams are in place for this project that we're working on, then we can start putting the walls up and making this structure a shelter, I'm hearing. And it was like this really community, like we've just come out of the sign of Sagittarius, or the moon being in Sagittarius, and that is it's the sign of the collective, right? Yeah, the moon is in Sag. So it's almost like working on this collective ideal from the last moon cycle through Sag, or moon's transit through Sag, is now helping us go towards this work-minded feeling state of subconscious emotional state, so that we can consider the ideals of the collective with regards to how we put our efforts into the pot, how we contribute to the larger functionality of the machine, so to speak. You know, like how our two hands take on a task that helps the greater good. Like, for example, there's a community garden happening in Kotao, and I've been meaning to go and actually give a hand, but I've been super, super busy and I got injured and whatever. Excuses, excuses. I know I will eventually make it up there. But the community garden, it's like, yeah, okay, there might be just a few people every day going up with, I guarantee not everyone's a herbologist or an engineer or an architect or a sustainable garden planner, like not everybody has the traditional specific skills that you would need to do a project like this. But if everybody is willing and knows that if they're helping, like they can put in their ready to go efforts, full energy, I might not know what I'm doing, but I'm willing to try anyway. If everybody puts in a little bit and adds their hands to the collective strength of the group, then we can get things done. They can make a lot of progress really quickly, even though maybe nobody has expertise, but everybody just being willing to put their hands into the pile and help work through these, new challenges can make a really beautiful outcome that can be positive and fruitful for the whole, for the collective, for the community. So that's kind of what I got. It's like we're working on, we understand that we need the structure, but we also understand that once the structure's up, there is things that need to be put into place to make it safe, to make it a shelter, like I see this like a barn, you might have the ox and the cows and the horse and the pigs and the roosters and the dog and like I'm seeing Babe, right? There's just all these animals in the barn. If the barn only had structure beams, okay, yeah, there would be a designated area for the animals to be, but it's not really any different than them just being out in the pasture, right? Just a few beams sticking out of the ground and other ones holding them together in the air doesn't make a home for these animals. You need to, put up the walls and add in a loft and put in the stalls and then bring in hay and line the hay and bring in food and bring in water and maybe you needed to bring into something to heat the area depending on whatever, like it's not just like you put in the one big effort to throw up the structural support without doing it's like, maybe this is a little bit about, sorry, I'm kind of train of thoughting it today. There was this idea a little while ago that we were really good at starting projects and never really good at finishing them. And I feel like right now there is this call for us to just like continue powering through and putting in consistent effort, Capricorn moon, even though you might feel like the most important part of the project is the getting it off the ground. Yeah, which is not wrong, right? We got to start somewhere, yeah. But the thing is that there's really no point of starting something if you're not willing to see it through into an actual like sustainable thing that has real structure, that has real form. If you only half-ass it, it falls apart again. Anyway, let's get on to the transits to the aspects. There are two today. The moon is making a square with Mercury. What I get with this is our subconscious and our conscious emotional state of being is really aware now of the effects of Mercury retrograde on us. It understands that like things are a little volatile, maybe things are not so clear, maybe not so certain. But the moon in Capricorn is kind of like, it's kind of like it's bringing in that earthy, dependable energy to help us move through this volatile Mercury obstacle, right? We have a square. A square is an obstacle, challenge. And what I got it is the moon is in Capricorn is being likened to sort of that really great manager. Like maybe, I don't know if any of you guys worked in retail when you were younger or still work in retail. Like you might be working and you're, on the floor folding your t-shirts, yeah, and then someone comes in and they're like, I don't understand why you never have any mediums. What's wrong with you? This store sucks. Da, 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 da. A real Karen, and comes in and bitches and moans to you, the employee folding t-shirts, about something that, like, obviously you have no power to change because you're just an employee of the business, not the manager or the owner of the company or the person that puts in the, or like, you don't have power to change this thing that they're complaining about, even though you kind of, yeah, okay, I kind of get your complaint, but why are you yelling at me? And maybe it really beats you up and it really gets you down and you kind of get in this foul mood. Sorry for the noise. but you've got this manager that always knows the exact thing to say to make you feel better once you've had one of these encounters that is really like, it's frustrating to you, even though you know that you can't really do anything to better than what you were doing, you know, like you can't really change it. Yeah, you can't really change that Karen was having a bad day and unloaded her frustration on you, the poor store clerk, just folding her t-shirts, minding your own business. Yeah. But this manager comes in and always just kind of goes like, oh man, don't worry about it. Knows the right thing to say to make you ready to get back on the floor with a smile on your face. Yeah. It's like that encouraging factor. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like it like wipes the slate wipes the slate clean, like an Etch-a-Sketch, you know, like you go, or what is it? You shake it? Is it shaking it? Anyway, you know what I mean? It's just like clearing everything off so that you can start fresh, no matter how, you know, emotionally challenging it was to come across these volatile, maybe unfair, maybe misunderstood energies. Yeah. Maybe they're like, it's like a real like jumping to conclusions and kind of like shooting the messenger, or like, I feel like it's kind of like passing a judgment before you have all the information. That kind of an energy. It's really affecting you right now. But there is something in here with this moon in Capricorn that knows how to put you back on track. Does that make sense? So you're experiencing challenges, you're experiencing obstacles, but you're still able to help yourself get back onto track in a compassionate way, I'm hearing. But in a really sturdy way, too, in a really dedicated way. Yeah. I'm hearing that this Capricorn, even though Capricorn might not be a sign that's associated with compassion, I'm hearing that you're starting to see how this dedication can be a compassionate factor. And maybe that's important for some of you. All right, we also have the moon making a trine with Uranus. Uranus is retrograde in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus is all about security and stability. It's a mothering energy, but that like gives you that foundation. Mm-hmm. It's almost like that mothering energy in the first stages when the baby is just born, you know, like the baby needs to be close to mother to get those like first connections, you know what I mean? Those first instinctual bonds that help create stability and structure for later on. A trine is about luck and expansion, right? And the moon in Capricorn, again, it's like we're feeling this compassion. It's like we're seeing things differently, right? We're seeing the dedication of Capricorn as a form of compassion. And now we're even seeing Uranus that's like normally this like upheaval, unexpected change, things blowing up in your face kind of an energy. I'm hearing, well, isn't it ironic, don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day. That's kind of the general feeling of Uranus, but Uranus and Taurus, we're seeing it differently as, you know, yeah, okay, maybe it's uncomfortable, but it's like, you know, like birth itself is uncomfortable, but then there's this beautiful being that comes to the world, and you get to have this beautiful bond, and you know, it's like seeing things a little bit differently with these two energies coming together. We're welcoming this shift now, yeah. The way that Taurus is affecting the changing energy of Uranus with this trine as well, with an expansion energy, is we're kind of satisfied right now with the ebb and flow of these energies. Like somehow, even though it is kind of uncomfortable and there's a lot unknown to us and there's a lot of like variables that we can't really affect right now, or that we can't really influence, that we can't really control, and not that we want to, because I feel like we're releasing this control freak energy that Capricorn can be known for right now. We're okay with it. It's kind of like the energy of like, I'm seeing like wind rustling branches, or like if you know anything about marine life, like clownfish, basically they lay their eggs under their anemone, and the mother clownfish goes under and like rubs up against the eggs and like aerates them and keeps the water flowing, so there's constantly oxygen flowing over the eggs. The way that like wind rustling through the trees might like move the stagnant air around that might get trapped in the spaces by these dense leaves. You know, like in a forest, sometimes if you go into a forest on a really humid day, it feels almost stifling under the trees sometimes, because that humidity kind of stays trapped when there's no wind under the foliage. But it's like if the sun is in Libra, right? The wind keeps on rustling these natural energies, these states of grounding for us. It keeps an even flow. It keeps aeration. It keeps nutrients coming through. It keeps things from getting stuck, from getting cracked, from getting bored and heavy, I'm hearing. Yeah, it keeps it fresh. Yeah, so this moon trining Uranus is, yeah, it can be a little uncomfortable, right? These are, a Capricorn moon might not be a super great place, and Uranus in retrograde might not be super traditionally comfortable, but somehow this trine, bringing these two, it's like two negatives make a positive almost. It keeps it fresh. It's keeping it fresh. It's keeping things moving. Um, Also, I'm going back to my barn example, expanding this barn raising, but it's almost like we're proposing a floor plan for the inside of the barn, right? I talked a little bit before about, you can raise the barn, but if it's just outside structure, it's not a home yet. We need to add different pieces into the barn to make it a home for the animals, yeah? To make it a functional space, as well as a comfortable space, as well as a safe space, as well as a shelter, you know what I mean? So if we're making this beautiful open floor plan within it, it's practical, right? We're not reinventing the wheel. We're using practical applications and the expertise of those beyond or past us, those from the past who have already done things like barn raising, that have already successfully created these structural safe spaces that are practical. We're not reinventing the wheel, but we're utilizing things from these traditional plans, but making them more effective for modern needs, I'm hearing. Yeah? With these, like I said, these two negatives making a positive, it's almost like we're still not quite comfortable with the fact that we might not know what's coming for us, but we know that in face of these changes, we don't want to do anything too drastic. We just want to see, as the changes come in, what is necessary to accommodate the new demands and use traditional means, maybe with a new little twist, to accommodate these new changes. Yeah, does that make sense? I know that this may be seeming a little bit complicated today, but it's like I'm really getting that this Capricorn moon is really bringing this, like, it's almost like like an accountant, or like it's a very responsible, very to the books, very organized, very practical, very it's like a leader kind of an energy, but it's not the leader that goes like, do this, do that. It's the leader that's like, all right, here we go. In order to make this common goal work, we're going to require this, 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 and this. All right, let's talk about it. Let's see where everyone's strengths are. Let's look at things practically. Let's look at things analytically. It's almost Virgo-y, but not quite. Yeah. It's softer than Virgo. Virgo is overthinking. This Capricorn moon with this Libra sun is feeling like a super healthy, very mutable, flexible, open to suggestion kind of an earth energy. I really do like it. All right, let's get you a card of the day. Card of the day. We're going to use the Island Time Wellness deck, and please excuse my shuffling. My thumb is a little bit injured at the moment. So I'm fine. Not to worry. I'm fine. But yeah, my thumb, I've got a little bit of a limited mobility in my thumb right now. So I'm figuring out the methods to not reinventing the wheel, right? But I'm figuring out how to accommodate this change of the normal circumstance. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Okay, let's get a card. Card of the day, please. Let's get one for today, the 12th. Is that right? Yeah, the 12th. Oh my clock. Sorry. Just up close and personal. Don't mind me. So we got the clock. It says need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal, progress. All right, this barn raising doesn't happen overnight, my darlings. It takes a little bit of time to get all of the pieces in play. You got to call up all your mates. You got to make sure the animals are well hydrated and fed. You got to make sure that the weather is good. There's a lot of factors in time. I'm hearing that there's many, many aspects of timing. Like, see how time comes up. Need time, takes time, in time, time to heal. 4 different instances where it's all to do with time, but it's slight variations on how the time is affecting the situation, right? So you might have divine timing. You might have the actual timing of the day. You might have the timing for the one person. You might have timing for the animals. The timing of the actual 1, 2, 3, go. Whatever. There is a lot to do with time right now. But I'm hearing the alarm starting to sound. Yeah, I'm hearing that it's like the mechanism is clicking into place in order for the alarm to ring in a few seconds. it's coming. The timing is coming. What's under the deck? The runner. Runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. All right. Maybe this timing was essential in order to get rid of this ego, to get rid of this runner energy. Maybe you, if you're used to not really getting your dreams come true in a way. And sometimes when you feel like your dreams are coming true, you run. You're like, nah, I'm gonna get the fuck away from here before it can get the fuck away from me, in a way. Sorry for the language. And maybe if you would have been presented this thing that you wanted before, you would have run away from it. So this timing has been crucial to get you in a comfortable state so you're not going to run away from it. All right, longing and warning. All right, so I'm hearing there's a warning sign for you here. There's a healthy amount of desire for, but it's not even desire, it's hope. Okay, hope is healthy for you. Yeah, you want to have hope that good things are coming. You want to have hope that your destiny is unfolding. But when you start longing for things, when you start being physically uncomfortable and overthinking things and, you know, losing sleep, this is a warning sign. This is the universe going, hey, we're turning the cogs a little faster on your machine so that you know that you're falling out of balance. This is the warning sign. This is, like I said, with the clock, like the mechanism clicks into place a second before the alarm rings, yeah? So you're hearing the click and you're going, uh-oh. It's a warning, okay? Constructive criticism and momentum. Okay, so you're on a good forward path, right? You're doing really good. You've got this really nice ebb and flow. And they're saying you're maybe gonna be start to encounter little obstacles that are not meant to throw you off right now. Okay, keep this momentum going. It's constructive, this criticism that you're getting. These implications, interjections, pardon me, objections I'm hearing that you're encountering, they are for your own good. So, and understand them, listen to them, hear them out, and see how they can fit into this beautiful momentum, because it could be that these things are not trying to stick sticks in your spokes like you're kind of used to when you're on a good roll and things start coming into play that are outside of your influence. It's not trying to put the sticks in the spoke here. It's trying to keep your momentum going. It's like, I'm seeing, what's that game? It was like the old game with the wheel and the stick. You'd have like a metal wheel, like really, really old. My grandmother would play it. It's almost like if you don't know how to do it properly, you fuck up the momentum of your wheel that's turning. But if you know how to put your stick in the spokes and move your wrist in just the right motion, you can get that wheel spinning faster. It's very delicate. Yeah, it's very delicate momentum maintenance, I'm hearing. Small adjustments, small tweaks, yeah. Be an adult and go within. All right. I'm hearing that with this be an adult card, I'm seeing it's like Peter Pan is wants a little bit more structure in his life. Yeah. It's like, I love Never Neverland. I love being a lost boy, but can we just do this a little bit differently? Go within. They're saying that you want something different. No. Yeah, you want something different. But you need to go within to really ask yourself how you can better approach this thing. Yeah. You were afraid of being an adult before, I'm hearing. You were afraid of this adulting energy. But there's a way that you can make it more conducive to your style. There's a way you can twist adulthood to bring in your little flair here. And you have to go within to find it. You've got all the answers yourself. You've got a lot within you. And you can stay living in Neverland, but also be an effective, contributing member of normal society as well. I'm hearing you can have both. You can have your cake and eat it too. You can live in Neverland and also have everything that you want in the traditional real world too. You can make the magic happen in both. Something's coming. It's going to make you realize. But anyway, I don't know what it is. Don't shoot the messenger. There's other things that are... Remember, there's lots of timing involved here. So don't bend your brain too much trying to figure all this out, okay? Just keep on rolling with this momentum and know that you have the tools that you need to continue to... You've developed your technique. Yeah, you can continue this momentum on this wheel. All right. I will be back at you. I'll be live today on Instagram, and I'll be back at you tomorrow here on YouTube. But until then, I'm sorry for anything you're going through if I've made you feel a certain way. Thank you for being a beautiful being and lending your energy to this gorgeous circuit that I hold so dear. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, angels, and whatever energies have been involved in getting us these clear, concise messages for our highest good, whether it be right now in the near or distant future. I love you to the moon and stars and infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too, but if not, that's all right. Catch you next time.